Hi, and welcome back to your English home. Today's story is about Layla, a young woman who has a quiet but powerful habit. Every single night, she writes in her journal. It's a simple routine, but it changed her life. Let's listen to her story. Subscribe and like the video, and let's go. Every night, just before she goes to bed, Layla picks up her journal and starts to write. It has become a peaceful routine, something she looks forward to no matter how long or stressful her day has been. She doesn't write because someone told her to. She does it because it gives her peace. While others scroll on their phones or watch TV until they fall asleep, Layla chooses to sit with her thoughts and let them out on paper. Her journal is not fancy. Just a simple notebook with a soft blue cover. But to her, it's one of the most important things she owns. She doesn't set any rules for herself. She doesn't care about grammar or spelling. She doesn't write for anyone else. It's a private moment just between her and her mind. Some nights, she writes a lot. Other nights, just a few lines. But no matter how small, she always shows up for herself. This quiet habit helps her to end her day in a calm and gentle way. It helps her close the door to the day behind her and prepare her mind for rest. Over time, it has become something she can't sleep without. Even when she's tired or traveling or busy, she finds a few minutes to sit, breathe, and write. That's how much it means to her. In a fast world full of noise, Layla has created a small space of quiet for herself every single night. When Layla first started journaling, she wasn't sure how to do it. She thought maybe she needed to write deep thoughts or long stories. But in the beginning, she just wrote short sentences, like "I had tea with my sister," or "It rained today." It felt small and a little awkward. Sometimes she didn't know what to say at all, but she told herself not to worry about writing the right things. She reminded herself that the journal was only for her, not for anyone else to read or judge. So she kept going. And slowly, her writing began to grow. She started to describe what she saw, what she felt, what she remembered. She paid more attention to her day, because she knew she would write about it later. A funny moment with a friend, a strange dream she had, or a beautiful flower she saw in the street. All of it found a place in her notebook. Bit by bit, she got more comfortable. Her hand moved faster, and her mind opened more freely. Writing no longer felt like a task. It became a part of her daily rhythm. And the more she wrote, the more she noticed. It was as if journaling opened her eyes and ears to the details of life that she used to miss. All of this started with just a few simple words each night. That's how her journey began, not with something big, but with a small step that grew into something meaningful. One of the most powerful things about Layla's journal is that it accepts everything. It's not just a book for happy stories or good days. It's a place where she writes about all kinds of feelings: joy, sadness, confusion, anger, fear, excitement. Nothing is too small or too big. Some nights, she writes about something that made her smile, like hearing her favorite song on the radio or watching a dog play in the park. Other times, she pours out her heart about a bad day at work, or a fight with someone she cares about. On certain pages, you can even see where her tears dropped, or where her handwriting got messy because her hands were shaking. But she never holds anything back. That's what makes her journal feel safe. It doesn't interrupt her. It doesn't ask questions. It doesn't give opinions. It just listens. And in that silence, Layla finds freedom. She can be completely honest. There's no need to pretend. She doesn't have to explain herself. She simply writes what's in her heart. Some nights, she surprises herself with what she writes. Thoughts she didn't know were inside her. Feelings she didn't know were so strong. Her journal helps her to connect with her real emotions, even the ones she hides during the day. It's like a mirror for her inner world. And every time she writes, she feels a little lighter, like she's sharing her burden with the page. As time passed, Layla noticed something interesting. The more she wrote in her journal, the more she started to understand herself. She began to see patterns in her thoughts and feelings. She could tell when she was stressed, what kinds of things made her feel better, and what situations always brought her down. By writing about her days, she was slowly creating a map of her emotional world. For example, she noticed that she often felt anxious on Sunday nights, something she never realized before. Or that talking to certain people always made her feel drained. Without the journal, she might have missed these signs. But with it, she could look back and reflect. On days when she felt confused or overwhelmed, writing helped her slow down and untangle her thoughts. It gave her space to ask herself questions, to look at problems from different angles. Sometimes, she didn't find a solution right away. But even just the act of writing helped her breathe easier. It gave her control over her feelings instead of letting them control her. She realized that she didn't need to be afraid of what she felt. Her emotions were not her enemy. They were her guide. And her journal was the place where she could listen to them quietly and carefully. Over time, this simple habit helped her become more calm, more balanced, and more in touch with who she really was inside. After writing in her journal for many months, Layla developed another habit, going back and reading her old entries. At first, she only did it by accident, flipping through pages while searching for something. But then, she realized how powerful it was. When she read her past words, she saw her old thoughts, feelings, and problems with fresh eyes. Some entries made her smile, especially the happy ones where she was excited about something simple, a walk in the rain, a good meal, or a kind conversation. Others made her feel proud because they reminded her of things she had overcome. She read pages from difficult days and remembered how heavy her heart had been. But now those same problems felt smaller. They didn't have the same power over her anymore. This gave her confidence. She could see proof of her growth, written in her own handwriting. She saw how she changed, how she healed, how she kept going. Sometimes she laughed at how dramatic she had been, or how worried she was about something that turned out fine. That's the gift of looking back. You learn to trust time. You learn that pain passes and that life keeps moving. Layla also noticed that certain dreams or goals appeared many times in her journal. It helped her see what she really cared about. Reading her past reminded her of who she was becoming. It gave her direction for the future, based on her own journey. Journaling didn't just help Layla feel better. It helped her become better. Over time, writing each night changed her. She became more aware of her thoughts and more gentle with herself. She stopped judging her feelings so quickly. If she felt sad or angry, she didn't try to push it away. Instead, she wrote about it, sat with it, and let herself feel it fully. That simple act made her stronger. She also became more reflective. When something happened during the day, a small argument, a stressful moment, or a moment of joy, she began to pause and think deeper about it. Why did I react that way? Or, what made that moment so special? She would ask herself. These quiet questions didn't just fill her notebook. They shaped her as a person. She became more patient, more thoughtful, and more grateful. She started to notice beauty in simple things, like the sound of rain, the feeling of warm socks, or the light in the morning. Writing trained her to pay attention to life. And as she grew more aware of the outside world, she also grew more connected to her inner world. The journal helped her become a better listener, not to others, but to herself. With each entry, she learned more about who she was, what she needed, and where she was heading. Her growth didn't happen all at once. It came slowly, page by page, night after night. A quiet transformation built from ink and honesty. For Layla, her journal has become more than just a place to write. It feels like a quiet friend, one that always listens, never interrupts, and never judges. She doesn't have to explain herself or worry about what someone else will think. When she opens her notebook, she knows she's entering a space that belongs only to her. That feeling of safety is hard to find in the outside world. Sometimes people are too busy or too distracted or simply don't understand. But the journal is always there. It doesn't care if she writes with perfect words or if she just scribbles feelings in a rush. It accepts everything. There were days when she cried while writing, and the tears smudged the ink. There were days when she laughed while remembering a funny moment and filled the page with happy energy. Every emotion is welcome. That's why it feels like a true friend. One that shows up every night and gives her space to be herself. She doesn't need to be strong or smart or calm. She just needs to be honest. And in that honesty, she feels supported. She also finds comfort in the fact that her journal is always there. Whether she's at home, traveling, or going through a tough time, it has no demands. It simply waits. When she writes, she feels heard. Not by someone else, but by herself. And being heard, even silently, is sometimes all she needs. Now, writing at night is more than a habit. It's part of who Layla is. She carries her notebook everywhere she goes. Even on vacation or during stressful weeks, she finds time to write. It might be one sentence or a whole story, but she always makes space for it. Her journal is her mirror, her memory, and her quiet companion. And when she finishes writing each night, she feels ready. Ready to rest, and ready to wake up tomorrow with a clear heart. Well done. You just listened to a full English lesson with useful topic. That's a big step in your learning journey. You trained your ears, you learned new words, and most important, you understood more English today than yesterday. If you can, watch this video again. It is better. You will understand even more. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and maybe drop a comment, so you never miss a lesson like this. Your English is getting better. Keep going. Thanks for learning with me today. Take care, and see you in the next video.